Hi, good morning, everybody. I hope you're doing well. Happy Earth Day. See, I've got my Earth Day t-shirt on today. It's beautiful out now. I don't know what is going to happen later, but if you get a chance, get outside now. Um, Absolutely crazy weather yesterday, huh? I don't know if any of you were in the vicinity of what they suspect could have been. Maybe not. I haven't watched the news, but a possible tornado hit us here. It was about maybe 4 blocks from me, so I didn't know anything about it because we lost power for a good 5.5 hours. I just heard about it through a text from my daughter. But anyway, following that, the sky became this most magnificent sky with these awesome dark clouds in the midst of some blue clouds. Gosh, it really was pretty cool. And speaking of Earth Day, years ago, I donated to the Arbor Foundation, and I was sent these 12 little trees. They probably were about maybe 6 to 8 inches tall. And so the kids and I planted them outside in these different areas. And I guess about maybe 2 or 3 days later, I went outside and I couldn't find any of the trees. And so I asked Mick, did he know what happened to them? And he said, "Oh, those were trees? I thought it was weeds. I mowed them down when I did the backyard." So much for helping the environment, huh? Anyway, today I thought maybe we could take a moment to pause and appreciate this world God made. In fact, Psalm 89:1 says, "The heavens are yours. The earth is also yours. The world and all that is in it. You have founded all of them." And in the beginning of the Gospel of John, he tells us that all things came into being through him. And without him, nothing came into being. Everything was created by God and done so with perfection. It's actually an amazing world, a world that provides us with everything we need. We are 93 million miles from the sun, which is exactly the right distance to give us the solar energy and light that provides for all living things. Our globe spins at a rate where we have a length of day and night that results in the balance we need between dark and light, heat and coolness. We have air with just the right amount of oxygen for all plants and animals. In everything, God shows us his power and attention to detail. What an artist. And in that, we see his great and unfailing love for us. All of this is for us. And yet here we are in the midst of a global pandemic that has caught us off guard and stopped us dead in our tracks, literally. And maybe you're wondering, where is this God who created the world and all that's in it? Does he see what's happening? Does he care? Well, let's look at a few things. Because of the coronavirus, traffic is down, and that makes for better air quality and less greenhouse emissions, something we haven't seen in a long time. And that's great news for folks who suffer from asthma because asthmatics are more susceptible to the coronavirus. Scientists are now observing that with more people staying put, the earth is simply more still, with fewer ground vibrations. In Venice, it's been noted that the water in its famous canals, which are now virtually empty as a result of the lockdown, appeared to be unusually clean, and you can even see some fish. With less people on the beach and on the water, creatures there are getting a break, like the endangered sea turtles, who are now able to nest in Florida without much human interference. And for a short period of time, these turtles and manatees and others like them get to experience the beach as it once was decades ago. In Africa, the lions are resting on the roads that used to be filled with trucks taking tourists on safari. See, instead of being forced to run off and have to hide in the brush, they can just lie on the road peacefully. Well, at least for now. And if you see a change in the environment, I'm thinking, why not a change in us humans? Why can't we become our better selves too? Well, the good news is many of us are. Folks are doing more for one another than ever before, even more than during 9/11. Now, of course, there will always be dissenters, hostile people, but that always comes with fear and uncertainty and that feeling that somehow we don't have control of things. In fact, when things like this happen, often people wonder, especially doomsday folks, if this is the end of the world, if God is somehow punishing us. I don't believe that, not for a moment. See, as hard as these days are and as uncertain as the future seems right now, before pronouncing judgment on a virus-racked world, I think we should pause and consider what a loving God might seek to reveal in the midst of this crisis. See, in Greek, the word apocalypse that we always use when we think about the end of the world also means revelation. And so the question actually isn't where is God in the midst of this pandemic, but can we look beyond our own momentary troubles and personal problems to see the bigger picture? Can we rise above our despair, our worry, our fear, our anxiety, and see the hand of God? Can we recognize that life is so much bigger than just our little shelter-in-place environment? That life isn't just about us. Can we see and feel God even during this pandemic? Gosh, I sure as heck hope so. See, even when everything around us is falling apart, or at least feels that way, when we see only the bad stuff, hear only the bad news, feel only fear and worry, that's when we need to remind ourselves of the beauty and goodness that is still in this world, a world that God created and proclaimed was good, oh so good, and believe with all our hearts that He is never off duty but always present with us. In fact, Psalm 121 says, the one who watches over you never slumbers or sleeps. And why? Why? Because He loves us. Simple as that. He never has His eye off of us. And right now, as we are facing all sorts of emotions because of all that we don't know, isn't it wonderful to know for sure that God cares about everything He created? That He can still make things good, every single thing, including us. Look, we may not know the reasons we find ourselves in this current mess, but we can know that God does, and that has to be enough. So here's what I suggest. On the next clear night, take a moment, go outside and look up at the sky and marvel at the beauty of creation and the love of God. In fact, scientists say you'll be able to see the sky as it was about 200 years ago. Awesome, right? And when you do, think of God and thank Him for that. So my friends, stay safe and stay home, okay? Never, never lose hope. Keep washing your hands and wearing a mask if you go out. And keep believing we will get through this together, because we will. Find that blessing. Celebrate this beautiful world that God has created and given to us, and celebrate the beautiful people that are in it. We can find them. They're everywhere, because God is everywhere. So I love you. I am praying for you, and I hope to see you tomorrow. So until then, peace.